Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Oh my gosh, that is just so good. Some mornings you need it more than others. Let me tell you right there. Well, guys, I'm going to tell you something that we all need to be talking about right now is, of course, the security of what we're holding, because the scammers, guys, they're coming for your XRP. And boy, are they ever out in force like they have never been. And David Schwartz has come out and he has issued a big time warning to the XRP community, because what they're seeing is a massive uptick in phishing scams where you get an email and they're telling you to interact with them and it's about your hardware wallet. And he's reminding people, don't you ever, respond to that kind of stuff, especially if you don't know the source. And on top of that, don't ever, no matter what the circumstances, nobody needs to know your seed phrase, guys. Look, I have coached a lot of people on how to utilize these XRP, I should say hardware wallets, not just XRP wallets, and how to move and transact and all that kind of stuff, and taking people literally through courses to show them exactly how to do this so that they can actually do it for themselves and really know what they're doing. And of course, it is as scary as can be. I mean, I literally, beads of sweat, still fall down my temples when I'm out there on all these platforms and I'm moving around stuff when I need to move it and stuff like that. And it can be nerve wracking. But the thing is this, guys, when you're dealing with these people, nobody needs to know your seed phrase. When I'm helping people, I never ask for passwords. I don't need to know seed phrase, nothing. And that is a big deal. A lot of people are getting drawn in. It's the confidence scam, right? Or they used to call the pig butchering scam, where they build your confidence up on and on and on. They get you into all these various things. They build that trust. And then, guys, they pull that rug. And we know it happens all the time. And also, you want to be conscientious about how all your devices are working, because that guy that lost that $3 million worth of crypto on EliPal, guys, he did it because he imported the seed phrase into the software. And that is something you should never do. I've heard of people that, they write their seed phrase down. Then what they do is they take a picture of it on their phone so they don't forget it. That is a disastrous way. I mean, come on. Phones are being SIM swapped, and they're being, hacked and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I want to point out is this. When you're looking at all of these scammers coming for your XRP, I'm going to tell you, that right there tells you how precious and valuable it is. Do you think that they're going to expend the effort to go out there and steal something that isn't worth anything, that's absolutely worthless, that has no, guys, they don't. They're going after what they know is valuable. And don't kid yourself. Do you think they're all just dumping it? No, they're washing it, that's for sure. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're hanging on to some of it too. I'll tell you what. We have got to be so extra vigilant in this space. And we've had so many scammers impersonating me on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, all these various platforms. And guys, I don't have a TikTok, don't have a Facebook, don't have an Instagram. The only account that I have is an X account, and that account is in the description. It's Digital Outlook 3, all lowercase. That's it. It's not some of these other ones. And we have pointed out in the past, these guys out there pretending to be me, promising you airdrops. Hey, if you want to get involved in this live stream, come and join us and pay this fee. Guys, that is an utter scam. Don't do it. Trust me. Look, Judy and I, when we got into this space ourselves, we got big time scammed. We got scammed. We got rug pulled. We experienced some big losses. And it really, really hurt us. It's amazing that we actually stuck with it. But this is where I have come out so many, many times and just encourage you to, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, and not allow yourself to get duped by everything that's going on. And isn't it interesting that a lot of this stuff is coming out right now, and more than it ever has? And that's why, of course, David Schwartz came out and gave that warning. And I'm going to put that article right in here. But guys, you've got something that is very, very valuable, and you need to be protecting it. Now, a lot of people will say, well, David, what is the Best hardware wallet to use. Well, guys, I'll tell you what, they all do pretty much the same thing, don't they? It's like whether you get a Chevy or a Ford or a Toyota or a Mitsubishi, they get you from point A to point B, but with all kinds of different options. Same thing with these wallets. Now, the top four, I believe, are Tangem, Decent, Ledger, and Treasure. I believe those are the top four. But certainly go out there and research which ones you believe would be, fit you and how they work and on and on and on if you're going to use one. Now, I was coaching someone the other day and he was talking about how he uses Exodus wallet and, that kind of stuff. And guys, I'd say this about that. I know a lot of people are out there and they're using a lot of these, software wallets. Well, if you use them in conjunction with a hardware wallet, it may be okay. But the thing is this, they're warm wallets and they have been known to have vulnerabilities and get hacked. And so I never recommend that anybody uses, some of these warm wallets that are open to the internet. And of course, the hot wallets, no chance. And by the way, with your exchanges, come on. Nowadays, exchanges used to get hacked. Now they're not getting hacked, but they do get compromised. And they get compromised because people fall for the phishing scams. Guys, a lot of people, you're going to hear news article after news article about a lot of people getting hurt, and they're going to try and scare you, spook you out of using, your self-custody and stuff like that. Self-custody is about as ironclad as you would ever want it to be. It's the vulnerability is the compromising by people giving up their seed phrases or, interacting with, software that is not really reputable or software that has had problems and things like that. You've got to use your mind. Guys, do not let yourself get duped like that. Now, are there custodians? There are. There's institutional custodians. And I know that, if you've got a decent amount, you can actually get with some of these institutional custodians. You've got, our broker that we use, Caleb and Brown, they use Fireblocks. Fireblocks institutional grade custodian. Now, I know you hear this whole phrase, but it's not bankruptcy remote. Guys, I want you to research what bankruptcy remote is. Bankruptcy remote does not mean that it's like, it's not that it can't be reached. You want to look and see, because a lot of times in bankruptcy, what they try to do is pierce that corporate veil and then they get at it anyway. So you want to look into that and see what exactly all bankruptcy remote is all about. Now, I used to teach bankruptcy and insolvency and stuff like that, and I've been an inspector on some massive, bankruptcies and things like that while I worked for the government there in Canada. So understanding, what all these things mean is a big difference. And like I love to say, you want to go out there and do your own research, answer your own questions. It's a big time deal. Caleb and Brown, they utilize, Fireblocks, which is institutional grade. The funds are not commingled. Everyone are segregated. So you have yours, he has his, this one has that, and stuff like that. And by the way, it is insured. So you may want to take a look at that. And on top of that, you know how Coinbase and Uphold, when you're using the vault with those things, you got to get on there and move your stuff out of the vault onto their trading platform before you trade it. Well, you don't have to do that with Caleb and Brown. There's no extra steps, which are vital in an environment where everyone's a race to the trough, like we saw just a couple Fridays back. People trying to get on there. Well, if you did get on, then you have that extra step of moving it off of the vault and transferring it over to the trading platform. And by then, how fast did that price move? Really fast. Guys, every second counts, I'll tell you what. And by the way, unlike Coinbase and Uphold, where they charge you a fee for that service, there is no fee with Caleb and Brown. And I throw that down right up there because, guys, it is a big deal. You want to be able to make every cent count, and on top of that, get the maximum security that you can have. And this is where, for us, I've recommended Caleb and Brown. Another one out there, of course, is iTrust Capital. But the deal with that is, if you put it into iTrust Capital, you are never taking it out. The only way you're getting it back out is if it's coming out in cash. That means you got to liquidate. Big deal. Well, to get that level of security, I like to hold on to my crypto. Well, if you are, you're going to have to be forced to hold it into iTrust Capital, aren't you? And that's going to be it. You're in there, and there's no going to any other platform. And unless you cash it out and take cash, and then you're dealing with your capital gains and taxes. So not sure I really think the I Trust Capital plan is the best way to go unless you want to deal with them and work with them, as your, liquidity corridor or something like that, which is fine. But I like the ability to have control over my digital assets, whether I deposit them or withdraw them or whatever I do. That is a big time deal to me. But guys, no matter what, keep your thinking caps on. Do not let yourself get out there and get absolutely just destroyed. I mean, come on. How long has it taken for so many of us to build up our positions, and in an instant, bang, it gets ripped right out of our hands and we never get it back, guys. Even if they catch the perpetrators, the crypto is gone, and it's very, very rare for anyone to ever get that back. That is for sure. So guys, just be aware of it all. I'll tell you what. Judy and I have taken every precaution that we possibly can, especially because, of course, we're out here in the public, right? And, we can become an easy target. I can't tell you how many people have tried to get me into some scam or another. I'm not joking. The list could just go on and on. And we have learned time and again to be wise as serpents, like I say, harmless as doves. And we love you guys. We want you to make it. And that's why we're coming out and just giving this big time caution and reminder: protect what you've got. It is worth more than gold in my estimation. I'll tell you that right there. So guys, till later on, and we have another fantastic video for you. Have a fabulous one and take care.